Magic. This is PPP number 27. It's one I've been meaning to do for about a week. A review of all the books that I've read this month. I was offline. I wanted to really silence myself in stillness as I begin the process of writing a book proposal. And I'm so glad I did, and I took advantage of my time to read more books, which is also a bit of an intention that I have. I love books. I'm a book nerd. I don't know why. I want to reclaim kind of my time with that. So let's begin. I have 5 books. I got my tea. I got my Rice Krispie square with a Nutella on top. Do you guys know the secret? I put Nutella on everything. Let's begin. The first book I have for you, it's a really small one. It's a poetry book. It's called What Kind of Woman by Kate Baer. I read this book in a bath, and I must have been in the bath for like an hour and a half. I had like a bath bomb, I had a little music, and it was glorious. She speaks about post and prenatal body issues. She speaks about marriages. She speaks about relationships. She speaks about girlfriends, things that men say to her. It's such a fresh look, and I think we can all find ourselves in Kate's poetry. It made me feel a bit badass after I read it. So I do recommend you take a peek at her work, which inspired me to write more. And that's also why I've been reading so much, because I heard somewhere, I forget where, but you know, if you're gonna write, you know, the best way to learn how to write is to read. So yeah, but anyways, yeah, do get her book. It's very inspiring and so pretty, so pretty. I wanted to read a little poem I really love from Kate, and it says, "Things my girlfriends teach me. When in doubt, try it on. Keep it simple. Don't waste time worrying if they will see you from behind. No one on this entire earth care more about your life than you. Eat a breakfast, find a god, make a casserole to freeze. If you're walking on the deserted road, send me your location. Remember, you don't need a straw. Drink more water, fold your sweaters. This is a time to buy a hat. When life throws you a bag of sorrow, hold out your hands. Little by little, mountains are climbed." I love that. All right, the next book is literally proof that I don't just read poetry and self-help. I read this, Bridgerton. So I binged the TV series. I was during the holidays, and literally my New Year's Eve was like a bag of chips, a cup of wine, and like I just went through it. It was such beautiful escapism and fantasy, and just like I believed it all. And then I was like, I really love the Outlander series, and just like the Outlander, there's like 8 books to this. So I was like, I'm just gonna give it a try. And I find sometimes after like a long day of being in this work that I do, kind of very esoteric, very kind of out there, I just need something to like escape. So that was really, really good for that. It's like a fast read. And it was fun to see the difference between the TV show and the book. There is, however, an instance where both the protagonists, like one takes advantage of the other. I'm not gonna go, I don't wanna like spoilers or anything. And I know there's been a lot of controversies online about the nature of rape and all that. So I just wanna mention this little mention in the off chance that you do kind of want to look through it. But yeah, and it has a nice ending, which is super novel these days to have like stories that actually like end well. So yeah, I read that. All right, the next book. So I feel like you all know this, but maybe you don't. I'm a bit of a feminist art history nerd. I love to read about female artists like Georgia O'Keeffe, Frida Kahlo, Ilma F. Klimt. And this is something actually I'm looking forward to integrate in our weekly newsletters at some point during our 4 months. But what I read was Frida in America. I literally like legit nursed this the whole month. And it's by Celia Starr, who has a PhD in like gender studies and feminist art history and all that. And the subtitle is The Creative Awakening of a Great Artist. And this was such a great book, really getting in the head of this artist. And I think what struck me the most is that Frida was in literally chronic pain all her life. She survived polio. She survived a terrific bus accident. She survived 2 really terrific late miscarriage. And you know, we talk about works that we don't necessarily know about Frida. Like, we know a lot of her portrait, but we don't know, like, it was really interesting to talk about some more of her obscure work that she did, and that some paintings would take her literally years to finish. So I love this book. It's a bit more of a heady book where, like, it's so research and but if you read a little bit at a time, it's totally doable. So I am doing a program. I shared a little bit. I'm being coached in writing a book proposal. And when I shared my idea with the coach, she said, oh, it's like Sark inspired. And I was like, oh, I love Sark. And that I read her a few years ago, but I haven't retouched, her books in a while. And because she said that, I was like, you know what, if it's comparative to what I'm gonna write, then I should totally revisit it. So I reread Cichlid Wild Woman by Sark, Dancing with Your Wonderful Self. And this is like a mega national bestseller. And I think it was like mid-90s. Like, she was like this is like a revolution in terms of the time that it was published. And look at this. I mean, it's like the penmanship of this book, it's all like that. And the doodling and the marks, she goes about, love and sex and, solitude, and this is very much Chiquist, like everything Chiquist embodies. She talks about power, beauty, body, voice, and the art. So and again, it's one of those, I think I read it in a couple of days again, but I truly recommend if you kind of miss or you need to reconnect with really that feminine magic, she's a master at what she does. So yeah. All right, so I started with the poetry book, and I'm gonna end with the poetry book, Own Body by Rupi Kaur. I love all these. Have been literally Bibles. I have her other 2 of Rupi Kaur, and this is a book you'll read maybe in 2 settings, but you will revisit over and over again. She really struck me at times, like her writing is getting very raw, very like I felt very bare compared to what she's written before. And it felt wonderful. So again, kind of one of those poetry books that you when you're done reading, you feel like a kick-ass badass. You can't take on the world. So I also love following her on Instagram, Rupi Kaur. And I know she does some live like writing sessions and all that. But please do get it. Yeah, and she talks about ageism too, which is very beautiful. So that's it. So to recap, let's go ahead and recap. We got What Kind of Woman by Kate Baer. We got Bridgerton. We got Cichlid Wild Women by Sark. Frida in America, The Creative Awakening of a Great Artist. And Rupi Kaur. So I already can't wait to do my review for February. Be well. Bye. Read lots.